A few hours before the zombie virus broke out, I was trapped in the school. I sent a message, sending a message about stockpiling for the epidemic, and rushed into the supermarket with my roommate. In the end times, I didn't dare to make a fuss. Surviving quietly is the way to survive the end. On June 30th, it was sunny. My mom suddenly called me, asking me to buy some supplies immediately and hide in the dormitory and never come out. I was shocked. I immediately sensed something was wrong. My parents are scientific researchers. They wouldn't be alarmed by rumors. They wouldn't listen to rumors. They told me in a hurry that a zombie virus had broken out in the city. It would only be a matter of time before it spread to the campus. After hanging up, they transferred money to me, telling me they were safe, but I must protect myself. They also sent me a relevant guide. I immediately called them back on the pretext of urgency to call back my 3 roommates who were out due to the epidemic control and could only move on campus. They came back quickly. They were all the same age and knew something about my family. They didn't hesitate much. They digested the news. After calling their families, we pooled our money together and went straight to the school supermarket. Before leaving, I posted an ambiguous message. The epidemic is serious recently. Stock up on food in your dormitory. I didn't dare to reveal too much. I was afraid that everyone would know. We were prepared, which would bring disaster. This reminder is already my limit. We blatantly skipped the afternoon class. We arrived at the supermarket instead of going straight to the shelves, but found the supermarket manager. We said we were doing a club activity and called him and directly took goods from the warehouse. The school supermarket doesn't have many kinds of things, and the stock is limited. Our dormitory is not big, and there is no refrigerator. We based on the dormitories. We ordered 10 boxes according to the maximum capacity. Self-heating hot pots and rice. These fast food products. 10 boxes because they haven't been unpacked. We don't know what they are. Anyway, the supermarket manager said we could eat them. 2 boxes of compressed biscuits, 2 boxes of ham sausages, 5 boxes of instant noodles, 3 boxes of potato chips, 2 boxes of beef jerky, pork jerky, dried fruits, etc., and 2 boxes of chocolates. It's not that we don't want to take more, but the school supermarket's inventory is limited. The food problem is solved, but the water source. After negotiation, we ordered 3 large barrels to store domestic water. 20 boxes of mineral water were ordered, 5 kettles, and 10 thermos bottles to ensure daily drinking water, 5 boxes of toilet paper, and 2 boxes of tissues to save space. We paid more money. We asked the supermarket staff to remove the paper towels. We also emptied the supermarket of sanitary napkins. But after thinking about it, we only took 3 boxes. After all, in the end of the world, we took them all. The girls who survived would be really helpless. Each of us bought 5 sets of basic daily necessities for replacement: toothbrushes, toothpaste, facial cleansers, slippers, laundry detergent, soap, shampoo, and so on. We also took a box of garbage bags and a box of alcohol disinfectant when picking up goods in the warehouse. I also found bedding prepared for new students. We each took 3 stocks and bought a dozen more hot water bags to prevent sudden temperature drops. Then, we also bought all the power banks in stock and charging cables. We bought 10 flashlights and all the batteries. After placing the order, we asked the supermarket delivery staff during class time to deliver them to our dormitory because we bought too much. The supermarket manager doubted our initial excuse, became suspicious, but we avoided it with a joke. Leaving the supermarket, it was still class time. There were few people in the building. We cleared out all the useless things in the room, out of the room, and left 1 person waiting for the supermarket deliveryman to come. Others went straight to the school infirmary. We each made excuses and took some painkillers, vitamins, and allergy medications. Because of the epidemic, the school would not issue them, so we didn't mention it. So we could only rely on our own stock and pool them together. Others, things like self-defense and pots. Because the school was too strict, there is no place to buy them, so we had to give up. Before returning to the dormitory, I followed the guide sent by my parents. I went to the cafeteria to consider endorsements. It can both anti-inflammatory and sterilize and supplement body salt. Now only the power problem remains. When the situation is critical, there will definitely be water and power outages, but these power banks can't last long. After thinking about it, finally, it was my roommate Tian who came up with an idea. He said he knew a senior majoring in physics who once made a mini solar panel and gave it to him as a gift, and wondered if he could help. I immediately made a decision and asked him to find the senior. We helped him sneak into the girls' dormitory. Then we quickly and told him the whole story and asked him to stock up quickly and not to tell anyone. The senior was silent for a moment. Just when I doubted, he accept it at all. When I doubted whether he had accepted, he took out his phone and called his roommate and explained. His roommate was also a person, just this phone call, and easily believed this statement. The senior told us that later, he would bring us the solar panels. It was a course assignment last semester. They're already made items. Hearing this good news, we finally breathed a sigh of relief. After arranging the items delivered by the supermarket, the solar panels were delivered. However, the senior was accompanied by his roommate, the one on the phone just now. I was a little surprised. This person is the most popular person in our school. Zushin is indeed good looking, but now we had no interest in appreciating Zushin. They didn't waste any words. They entered the room. They observed the structure of our dormitory. They installed solar panels, and checked the circuit. They taught us how to use solar panels and the conversion between them and various appliances. They also left us a spare one, just in case. After confirming that everything was correct, they went downstairs again, brought in some wooden boards to reinforce our doors and windows. My roommate was confused about how you got up. After all, the ants in our dormitory are famous for being tough. Zushin hit the wooden board with a hammer. He said calmly that he brought some scallions for his girlfriend. We didn't ask more questions, and we all got busy. Just before they left, we gave them a box of instant noodles to express our gratitude. After all, at this time, there was nothing better than supplies. They thanked and took it. Senior Wang Jin took out some batons from his bag and handed them to us, but not for self-defense. I was a little surprised. Are these controlled items? How did you get them? He glanced at me confidently. Boys all have a little bit of secondary illness. He didn't say more, but I understood. I heard that. Some boys like to collect some props and weapons to show off. I guess these were confiscated. After dividing the loot, we said goodbye to each other and parted ways. Everything is ready. We checked the doors and windows and then sat together in silence, holding each other's hands and comfort each other. We gathered together and scrolled through our phones. As my parents said, in the short 3 hours we were shopping. 3 hours. The zombie virus broke out in the city. At first, there were videos spreading on the internet. There were news of malicious injuries, news about rabies, and news of mass riots. My roommate was worried, wanted to call home, but the network was congested and paralyzed, and we couldn't communicate. Again, later, the network could not be refreshed. We kept calm. We turned our phones to silent mode, like a condemned criminal, waiting for the world's punishment for humans. At 5:32 p.m., screams echoed across the campus. It first came from the direction of the cafeteria. I knew something was wrong. Due to the epidemic, the campus is under closed management. It should have started from the school gate. I immediately got up. I opened the curtain of the side window and looked out. Our dormitory building is close to the school gate. Through the window, I could see the movement at the school gate. There was no one in the security booth, only leaving a pool of blood on the ground. Whose blood it was. The campus gate was wide open. In the dark night of fitness, like a giant swallowing people, we looked at each other with lingering fear. Fortunately, we came back early. Otherwise, we might have experienced it ourselves. Soon, outside the originally quiet dormitory area, people screamed, and chaos ensued. Those monsters with hideous faces, chasing the crowd, and grabbed people with their bloody mouths. In the dormitory buildings, there was a sound of people running around. Screams and cries for help were mixed together. With a thud, someone was frantically banging on our dormitory door. We all experienced a shiver, and no one spoke. The dormitory door was made of wood, which was shaking and about to fall. Fortunately, in the afternoon, Zushi helped us reinforce the door, and Ray locked it. Otherwise, the door might not withstand several blows. Everyone stood silently in the corner and observed the door. After a while, the sound of smashing the door gradually stopped. We breathed a sigh of relief. Those are zombies, right? Sheng Sheng. My roommate Wang Yue trembled and covered her mouth, asked me in a low voice. I nodded. As a response, what about the people outside? Should we ask them to come in and hide? Another roommate, Zhou Lao, asked anxiously. No, what if we attract those things? What about them? Shush Ang, didn't you say they are sensitive to sounds? Listening to their conversations, I frowned and felt something was wrong. When I told them the news at the first time, Zhou Lao said to report it to the school. I stopped him at that time. Of course, I thought about this problem, but my parents warned me on the phone not to be the first to speak out. As a student, I said these words. No one would believe it, even if the school believed it. But there are so many people in the school. There are always a few who won't listen. Just like the epidemic prevention, there were always those who were stupid, which led to greater spread. So the first principle in the end times is to protect yourself. But Zhou Lao looks like is almost shaking with the words virgin written on his face, combined with this tattoo, which is harmful to us. I stared at him closely. I need to think of a way, otherwise he is a ticking time bomb and would send people to their deaths. The chaos on Earth. It lasted for several hours before it stopped. We were sitting in the dormitory. We heard screams from outside from time to time, and we couldn't help shaking. We stayed up until midnight. We divided the labor. 2 people kept watching to prepare for emergencies. I volunteered and Tian Tian to guard the first page. After confirming that Zhou Lao was asleep, I winked at Tian Tian and tied him up together and plugged his mouth. Zhou Lao whined and made a humming sound and struggled constantly. His eyes were full of disbelief. It seemed that he wanted to ask us why we did this to him, but I ignored him. That day, we were all exhausted. We didn't have time to educate him. Tian Tian and I took turns to stay up all night. On July 1st, the first day after the zombie outbreak, the campus was quiet in the morning. It was a familiar hazy day again. The visibility in the morning was only 3 meters. Only fog. In the mist, I could see those strange figures walking slowly. I woke up my roommate once, after taking turns washing up, and sat in front of Teacher Joe. I told him the pros and cons. I don't know how much he listened, but he cried and said he knew it, and said he would not act privately, and asked us to let him go. I didn't agree. If it were before, I would have been willing to give him this trust. After all, we were roommates, and we got along well. But now, in the end of the world, it's hard to guarantee that he won't take revenge. Have any revenge. I think we should still tie him up. We discussed it, and finally decided 3 people take turns to take care of Zhang Lao's diet and life and not untie him for now. We think it's better to take one more step than to risk our own safety and find trouble. In addition, to prevent Zhou Lao not taking our words seriously, we also threatened him verbally, telling him that if he did anything, we would throw him out directly. Only then did Zhou stop crying and became quiet. After a night's settling, yesterday, the signal congestion caused by the chaos seemed to have improved a lot. Although there is always signal delay, but the communication function of the phone can be used. Is enough. We called our parents one after another to report safety, because when we communicated, our parents were safe and sound. But when we thought of others, we felt mixed emotions. We tacitly didn't mention it. The class group was also in chaos. The message I sent yesterday was reposted by some people and asked me whether I had known some news in advance. My roommates immediately covered for me, which briefly suppressed the matter. Since communication was restored, we refreshed the internet from time to time. Messages hit us. We woke up and could return to our normal lives. But the GS's notification messages were repeated, were nothing more than not to go out, waiting for rescue. Various comments on the internet exploded. It was like a second riot. Actually, I asked my parents that day, since they had heard the news, why didn't they tell everyone and let everyone prepare in advance? My parents were silent for a long time. They were helpless because it happened too suddenly. Besides, not everyone will believe what you say. And after such things are exposed, the human disasters it causes may be more terrifying than natural disasters. Since I can't be a hero, then I can only take care of myself. After hanging up the phone, I thought for a long time. I agreed with their remarks. Yes, I'm not a hero, nor a savior. All I can do is to take care of myself. In the 72 hours after the virus broke out, the school was cut off from power with solar panels. Our daily household electricity was stable. On the 5th day after the outbreak, perhaps the city's power grid was paralyzed, and the water supply system also stopped working. The network signal was also interrupted. We lost contact with the outside world. But we had no time to worry, because the temperature started to become abnormal and extreme weather occurred. Since June this year, it has been extremely hot here, and it has reached 40 degrees Celsius these days. Everyone is sweating profusely and miserable. The hot weather, there was a stench coming from outside. But we closed the doors and windows and dare not open the windows for ventilation, because no one can guarantee this dirty air will cause other diseases. We dare not turn on the air conditioner easily. Our dormitory is on the 4th floor, is not high or low downstairs, but not too low. The outdoor unit of the air conditioner hangs on the sidewall, regardless of whether the solar panels drive the air conditioner. Once the air conditioner is turned on of the outdoor unit, it will definitely attract the zombies downstairs and the dormitory downstairs. There seem to be survivors. We already felt guilty that we couldn't control everyone at that time. Now it's even more impossible for our own selfishness to increase the risk of others. So we gathered around the only small fan in the dormitory, lying on the ground in a circle.